And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. High Elves, Dark Elves, Shadowkin, and you know what? Special shout out to all the orcs today, my friends. Welcome to my video gaming division where I'm gonna tell you 3 things right here, right now. First and foremost, you might be asking yourself, Arnold, what's the thing you always say? Well, let me tell you. It's great to be in the Empire today. And it is a great day in our video gaming empire today. Come on in, my friends. We got plenty to talk. Or you might be like, what are the other 2 things? That's all you need to know. No, I changed my mind. There's only one thing to know, and that is it's great to be in the empire today. We're going to talk about Kawn Branchbreaker. Is it worth going all in on this guy in the guaranteed void legendary Deck of Fates event? Well, we got a lot to talk about here. It's probably going to be a no for a lot of people, but maybe yes in some circumstances, I think. Why don't you come on over here? And you know what? Actually, there is something else I think you guys need to know. Did you guys know if you use my link down below or scan my QR code, I'll be able to get you to Gore right away, and then Deacon Armstrong at level 40. Yeah, I think that's all you guys need to know for right now, right? Well, no, we got some more things you guys need to know about. We have Kawn Branchbreaker in the game, and it's going to be a Deck of Fate event. And I'm going to get some questions. Is this event worth it? We had one of these for the Knave of Hearts a while ago. This champion, I think, is going to be a bit more interesting if you were someone in the following categories that we're about to break down. Now, how do I get this champion? Well, in this Deck of Fates event, you got to get artifacts, accessories, summon champions, or summon souls from the soul stones. And if you go see the point breakdown, we'll take a look at their words in a moment here. Here's what you got. Now, it's a little unfortunate in some capacities we're going to discuss here that there's not a specific summon event that's going on right now. We have a summon event later on this week. Unfortunately, it's not today. So I don't know. Let me just get to it. I don't know if this is going to be a character worth opening shards for right now, because we're going to take a look at the calendar. Later on this week, we have a summon event for the Lord Fabian Entertainer. I think this is probably more for people who are capitalizing on some of the Dungeon Diver stuff going on right now. We have a Spider Den, some other events going on right now for Lord Fabian. And lastly, if you're someone that's sitting on Eternal Soul Stones, I think this might be the event to open them up for. We'll talk about these in more in depth. Let's break this down. I think we first got to go to our calendar and show you where we're currently at right now. So right now, as we currently stand, and look at that, hey, we got some funky offers. Maybe you want to pick them up. And I don't know, you guys let me know your thoughts. And who knows, maybe you guys want, nothing ever wrong with going to the altar of souls and demanding we get something good. So if you guys just want some fun, it's always fun pulling those soul stones, right? I would hope so. Here's the calendar that we have right now. Currently, the biggest reason why I don't know if you want to be opening up shards is because we have a champion chase tournament happening on March 21st to 24th, and unfortunately this event ends before the Deck of Fate. So if these would overlap, it's a 2-for-1 special. So no duh, you're going to be getting your stuff for the champion chase as well for the as for the guaranteed legendary. Yeah, sure, but the problem is that it ends before that. However, we do have ourselves like a spider tournament going on. So maybe if you're doing the spider tournament for the Lord Fabian event, you're going to be getting artifacts. You'll be getting some points towards that Deck of Fate, but primarily, I think the grand majority of what you're going to need to get that thing up and running for Deck of Fate is going to be opening up those shards, as we saw, and I think it's about, 25 sacred shards if you're going all in, ignoring the artifacts. I don't think it's worth that, especially with the, I keep calling it summoning chase, the champion chase tournament, whatever, later on this week. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth opening up shards right now, but we're going to take a look at the kit and look at some of the performance things. But if you are sitting on some Eternal Soul Stones, the way I look at Eternal Soul Stones, ignoring Mortal Soul Stones and Immortal Soul Stones for the moment, Eternal Soul Stones, I think they're generally best used for 2 things. Either some sort of Hero's Path event, if you open up stones for that, or for things like the Deck of Fate. Because unlike the Mortal Soul Stones and Immortal Soul Stones, these go through some 2x events where it doubles the rate at trying to get a higher rarity, higher star champion. However, when it comes to the Eternal Soul Stones, you're already getting a 5 and a 6 star guaranteed. So there is no 2x event. Gary, can you fact check me? Good job, Gary. Can you put it on the screen? No? Okay, well, Gary just said you're gonna have to believe him. So when's the best time to open up Eternal Soul Stones? Just like we say, Mortal Soul Stones, Immortal Soul Stones, shards are best open during a 2x event. If Eternal Soul Stones aren't getting a 2x event, when's the best time to use them? Well, things like Deck of Fates or a Hero's Path of that sort. But at the end of the day, I think the biggest question is going to be, well, is the champion even worth it? Well, let's go back over to that Deck of Fates that we have. going on for right now. Let's go take a look at some of the rewards and you get some 3-star chickens. You know, you get a 5-star chicken, some 4-star chicken, some legendary books, some other mishmashy things. At the end of the day, it's the character shards you're going for. And how many points are you going to need? Well, it's 1,000 points per card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 40 cards right there. 40,000 points that you're going to be needing. So if you were going to, let's say, use the Eternal Soul Stones again, I don't know if it's really worth bringing up Sacred Shards now, because if you take, again, assuming you're not doing any dungeon diving stuff or spider den, which maybe some people are, 40,000 divided by 1,600, which again, I don't think you're gonna be doing the full number. Yeah, it's 25 shards. Well, Eternal Soul Stones, if you do 40,000, 1, 2, 3, divide that by 3,500, that's about, what is that, 11-ish Eternal Soul Stones that you got cooking up right there. So I do think this is gonna be best used for Eternal Soul Stones, but probably what I'm gonna do first, because I need to, where I'm currently standing at with the Fabian Fusion, I need to do, because I already did the Summon Rush that we just did the other day. I keep feeling like I'm interchanging some of the terminologies here. Let me just show where I'm at right now, actually. Let's give you some context on that first. Currently where I'm standing, I am sitting on basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm gonna get my 8th one today. We have a gear enhancement event going on. So I'm basically 2 epics already in. Plus, I already got 1 epic made, so I'm already 3 epics in. So I need 4 more rare champions outside of the artifact enhancement. So let me go back over to that calendar real quick. So basically what I'm gonna be knocking out, I'm gonna do the gear enhancement on March 22nd, the Classic Arena tournament, obviously, duh. Champion Chase tournament will be doing that. And all I gotta do is I gotta either do 1 spider tournament, 1 fire knight, 1 dungeon diver. And right now we have a spider tournament going on during this Deck of Fate. So probably what I'll do the spider tournament to get my rare, and hopefully accrue enough points to kind of get a nice head start, and so they don't have to have as many Eternal Soul Stones. So that's likely what I'm going to be eyeballing, and then we'll see as we get close to the end of the Deck of Fates how many points I have, and you know, maybe Grandma will spot me an Eternal Soul Stone or 2. Yeah, no. But again, I really do think Eternal Soul Stones, those 2 things, a Hero's Path, if they require Soul Stones, or you know, the Deck of Fates event that we got. But again, is the champion even good? You know, what's his face? Not Deck of Hearts, the Knave of Hearts. Yeah, I've been having fun with him. I've been having a good time, especially since I don't really have any Undead Horde members really built up. But what about Kawn Branchbreaker? Well, why don't we go ahead, pull up our like starting benchmark, a Hell Hades review. A 4.5-star overall champion. That's not a bad rating. And a Void Legendary. Void Legendaries, you know, those are usually kind of sought after. It's nice not that they're not really weak to any particular affinity here. Let's take a look. It's a defense legendary based champion, and let's go take a look at the key breakdown here. Seems to be pretty banger inside the clan boss, so you're still needing something for that. Great in all the core dungeons, maybe some of the hard mode dungeons here. Decent in Hydra, and pretty darn good in Arena. And it's probably because we have an anti-Sun Wukong revive type of thing going on. Let me tell you, I've been really appreciating anti-revives. I have King Narcissus, which can anti-revive if there's enough buffs on a champion on the enemy team. But I've been really liking the Queen of Hearts, because the Queen of Hearts has like Death Brand, and it's pretty nice. It's putting Sun Wukong down for good, and apparently really good in Scarab King. I ran into a bit of a problem with Scarab King at level 100 this last Doom Tower cycle. But here we go. Timber Maker attacks one enemy on this basic. Before attacking, removes 1 random buff from the target. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion is under a shield buff. Places a block, revive, debuff if this attack kills an enemy. On the basic, that's pretty nice. Unlike, you know, King Narcissus, which, you know, you could get a block room, but you have to have like so many debuffs or so many buffs on the enemy. Increase the value of any shield buffs in this chain by 30% of the damage dealt. Cannot increase by more than 10,000. Okay. What about the Barkbreaker? Attacks all enemies, ignores a percentage of the target's defense, equal to 50% of the difference between this champion's max HP and any shields on them. Also, destroys the target max HP by 20% of the damage inflicted, going up to a stack of 50%. This effect will ignore any shield buffs. Then we have the Hardy Soul. 5-turn cooldown here. Can reduce it by another 2 if you upgrade it. Places a shield buff proportional to this champion's defense and a 25% strength buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also, place the counterattack buff on this champ for 2 turns. And then lastly, the passive removes 1 random debuff from this champ at the start of their turn. At the start of every 4th turn by this champion, removes all debuffs from them and places a 6% increased defense buff on them for 2 turns. Then you increase this champion's defense by 3% for each debuff removed by, it has to be by the skill, going up to a stack of 30%. So it seems interesting. Again, I don't know if this is really something that, if you don't have Eternal Soul Stones, should you drop everything and go for it? Again, I don't know about that, especially since we have a Champion Chase tournament coming out later this week, and that's when you're going to, and also, I guess a secondary approach for those that are doing their first fusion, make sure you're saving on summoning these champions for Lord Fabian, because you're going to get points for them for the Champion Chase tournament. So, like, technically, I could fuse one right now. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be able to fuse 3 soon here, so shortly. So, not gonna do it now. Wait for this the event to come up. But again, I don't think it's worth opening up shards for the moment. It feels like this is going to be more of an event that's trying to bait out potentially people that are in a rush. They just want to quickly get into it and just burn off their shards right now. I would recommend, like I said, if you're going to do this Deck of Fate, do the Spider Den tournament right now. Try to get some points towards these artifacts right here, and then afterwards, see where you're at. And then I think it's mostly Eternal Soul Stones you're going to want to focus on. But man, if they had that Champion Chase crossed over with this, that'd be a match made in heaven. But what do you guys think? Are you going to be pushing for this? Again, Void Legendary seems kind of interesting. I love block revives on the basic. Pretty nice stuff. 4.5 star overall. Not bad. This definitely looks to be better than the Knave of Hearts. And at the end of the day, I want to bring this up too. A guaranteed legendary. Oh, and also, if you are going to do this, make sure you summon him on the Champion Chase tournament later on this week. Don't summon him right away, because there's a little bit of a day skip between when this ends and when we finally get the Champion Chase. So make sure when you get all the fragments, if you're doing it, make sure. But remember, you're not just getting the champion. You're going to get a bunch of other rewards in between. You know, the 5-star chicken, some of the nice little artifact enhancers. Okay, at the end of the day, it's really that champ. But you're getting some other stuff. And if you do happen to flip some cards in succession, you'll get some bonus rewards. So again, neat stuff. And who knows? My experience was not this. You might not need to open up all 40 cards to get the guy. Maybe you'll have great luck and you only need to open up like 75% of them. In my experience, when I first did mine, for especially Knave of Hearts, well, I had to open up all the cards to get all the shards. So there is that chance you might not need to go the full amount. But again, I give you the rough map on the sacred shards, either 25 sacred shards, 11.5, give or take, Eternal Soul Stones. Do some of the dungeon stuff if you're looking for a few more champions for Lord Entertainer Fabian. And then, you know what, maybe you can see if you can get across that finish line. But hey guys, I want to hear what you guys are thinking. Let me know down below your thoughts on this beautiful Void Legendary champ. And who knows, maybe you'll see me pop up in your timeline later on this week, maybe flipping a few cards. Why not? It's always a good time, right? And speaking of a good time, if you're a new player, make sure to use my link down below and scan my QR code of infinite knowledge. I'll get you to Gore straight from the very get-go if you're a new player. And at level 40, you'll get Deacon Armstrong exclusive giveaway in my link right there. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Hopefully your Monday's starting off strong. And in case you need a reminder one more time, always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.
It's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.